Hello students, myself Dipankar De Torobdar. I am the Assistant Professor of Department of Civil Engineering. Today I am going to cover the topic on fundamentals of architecture and town planning. This is module 4 of your subject called Introduction to Civil Engineering. Now, to start with the topic, we have to first understand the aesthetics in civil engineering. What does it mean? It is a critical practice of designing structures that are not only safe and functional, but also at the same time it is visually pleasing and in harmony with their environment. It is an intentional collaborative discipline that enhances public spaces and improves the quality of life for the people who use and view the infrastructure. Now, what are the principles of aesthetics in civil engineering? Now, there are various principles. Major are four. First one is balance and proportion. This involves arranging different parts of a structure to create a sense of equilibrium. That means it can be a symmetrical structure for a formal look, or it can be a asymmetrical structure for a more dynamic and informal feel. The next principle is contextual harmony. That is, a well-designed project complements its surroundings, whether they are in urban areas or in nature. For example, if we build a bridge, that bridge should echo the nearby landscape, or buildings that should fit the local character. Third principle is rhythm and repetition. That means repeating elements like arches, columns, or structural patterns that can create a sense of rhythm and movement, which is particularly effective in long span structures like bridges. And the fourth one is materials, color, and texture. That means the choice of materials. There are different materials like steel, concrete, or stone, along with their color and surface texture, can significantly influence the visual appeal and the character of a structure. Now, what are the different civil engineering projects where the aesthetics can play a role? There are different civil engineering projects. First one is the bridge projects. Now, the factors that affects the aesthetics of a bridge are as follows. First one is consider the setting. That means the design of the bridge should be sensitive to its location, whether it is a bustling city or a natural environment. Second one is shape and form. That means proportions of bridges components, such as the ratio of the tower height to span length are crucial for a graceful appearance. Third one is transparency. Using fewer or more slender support wires creates a sense of lightness and transparency, allowing the landscape to be seen through the structure. Detailing, that means finishing touches like pedestrian railings, lighting fixtures, and even paint color can have a major impact on the final visual result. Now, the second type of project is dams and water infrastructure. Now, what are the major factors that is influencing the aesthetics of that particular project? First one is landscape integration. Designers can incorporate vegetation and landscaping to soften the visual impact of large artificial concrete structures. Second one is harmonious design. That means architectural interventions in the design of a dam can reduce maintenance and help the structure blend in with the natural surroundings. Color palette, that is using color tones that match the natural environment, like cooler tones of blue and green can enhance the scenic beauty. And the fourth one is water features, like on check dams, for example, the combination of vegetation and water flow can be managed to improve the aesthetic quality of the landscape. Third type of project is road and highway. Now, what are the factors that is affecting the aesthetics of this particular project? First one is geometric alignment. That is coordinating horizontal and vertical curves that can produce a road not only safer but also more pleasant and relaxing to drive. Landscaping, that means thoughtful planting along roadside, can serve many functions from erosion control and noise reduction to adding natural beauty that reduces drivers' stress and boredom. Third one is the contextual walls. What does it mean? Retaining walls and noise barriers can be designed with textures, patterns, and profiles that are visually compatible with the local environment. Next one is the urban design. So what are the factors influencing the aesthetics? First one is the public spaces. That is incorporating elements like parks, street furniture, and public art enhances the character of the urban spaces and promotes social interaction. Second one is walkability and permeability. That means designing pedestrian friendly pathways with clear visual connections and street level activity makes a city feel more approachable and safer. Visual interest, that is the third point, that is quality of architecture, landscaping, and views all contribute to urban aesthetics, creating a sense of place and identity. Now, The next is the fundamentals of architectural design. What does it mean, architectural design? Architectural design is a creative, problem solving process that balances artistic vision with practical and technical constraints. Now, what are the fundamental design principles? First is balance. That means the distribution of visual weight in a structure. It can be symmetrical, that is, identical elements on each side. It can be asymmetrical, achieving equilibrium with dissimilar elements. Or it can be radial, that is, elements arranged around a central point. Second point is proportion and scale. The relationship between sizes of different elements within a design and how they relate to the human body and the surrounding environment. A well-proportioned space feels more comfortable and harmonious. Third one is rhythm and repetition. The use of repeating elements like windows, columns, or patterns to create a sense of order, movement, and visual interest. Emphasis, creating a focal point or dominant element to draw attention and give the design a sense of hierarchy. Unity and harmony, that is, ensuring all elements of a design, such as form, space, and materials, work together cohesively to create a unified and complete whole. And the last one is the movement, that is, controlling how a person moves through and experiences a space, creating a deliberate sequence of views and transitions. The next topic is the responsibilities of an architect in the construction projects. So architects are the professionals who designs buildings and oversees the construction process to ensure that client's vision is brought to life safely and effectively. The architect's responsibility spans the entire project life cycle from initial concept to post-construction evaluation. Now, what are the responsibilities that lies in three different phases? First one is pre-construction phase. In pre-construction phase, there are several responsibilities of an architect that involves in construction. First one is consultation and needs assessment. The architect begins by meeting with clients to understand their goals, budget, timelines, and specific requirements for the project. Second one is site analysis and feasibility studies. That means they examine the construction site's condition, including topography, climate, and zoning restrictions. Then the architect performs feasibility studies to ensure the client's vision is practical and viable for the site. Third one is budgeting and cost estimation. In this, the architect helps manage costs by developing a budget and providing estimates at various stages of the project. They may suggest cost-effective materials and techniques to keep the project on track financially. Schematic design. This involves creating initial sketches, drawings, and 3D models to explore different design concepts. It establishes the basic layout, scale, and spatial relations of the building. Next one is the design development, that is the architect refines the approved schematic design by adding details and coordinating with engineers for structural, mechanical, and electrical systems. The final material selection and finishes are also specified during this stage. Construction documents. Architect produces a comprehensive set of drawing and technical specifications that form the official instructions for the contractor. This package includes detailed architecture, structural, and system drawings required for bidding and obtaining building permits. And the next one is, and the last one is the bidding and negotiation. That is, architect helps the client select a contractor by preparing bid packages and evaluating proposals. They act as a neutral party to facilitate fair and clear communication during the negotiation process. Now, the next phase is the construction phase. What are the responsibilities? The first responsibility is construction administration. That is, once construction begins, the architect provides oversight to ensure the project is being built according to the contract document. Next one is the site visit and inspections. That is, architect conducts periodic visits to the site, construction site, to observe the progress and the quality of the work. They report any deviation and observed any defects to the client. Quality control. The architect ensures the materials and the workmanship meet the specified standards. They review material samples and shop drawings submitted by the contractor. Processing payments. As construction progresses, the architect reviews the contractor's applications for payment and issue certificates to the owner based on the work completed. Information request, that is, architect responds to requests for information from the contractor who may need clarification on the design documents during construction. Change orders. If design changes are needed during construction, the architect prepares and processes change order to formally document and approve the modification. Contract interpretation. Architect acts as an interpreter of the contract documents, answering all questions, resolving any ambiguous for the owner and the contractor. Next phase is the post-construction phase, and the responsibility lies like first one is substantial completion. That is, architect conducts a walkthrough with the owner and contractor to create a punch list of items that need to be corrected or completed. Upon completion of this list, they issue a certificate of substantial completion. Second one is final completion and closeout. That is, after final punch list items are finished, the architect performs a final inspection and issue the certificate of final completion. Post occupancy evaluation, that is, approximately a year after building is built or occupied, the architect may conduct a review to assess the building's performance and address any issues that may have arisen during use. Warranty enforcement. The architect helps the owner enforce the contractor's warranty to ensure that any defect discovered within the warranty period are fixed. Next topic is town planning. Fundamentals of town planning. What is town planning? Town planning is also called as urban planning. It is the process of designing and managing the physical growth and the development of the urban areas. It is both a science and an art, involving the arrangement of various urban components like land use, buildings, infrastructures, and public spaces to create a functional, sustainable, and aesthetically pleasing environment for the residents. Now, what are the core objectives of this town planning? The objectives are First is the health, that is creating healthy living conditions by zoning land properly to keep compatible uses like heavy industry away from residential areas. Convenience, that is providing necessary physical and social infrastructure including transport networks, utilities, schools, and recreational facilities to make daily life more efficient. Third one is beauty, that is preserving and enhancing the aesthetic appeal of a place by protecting natural green spaces, controlling architectural design, and conserving historic buildings. The fourth point is environment, that is ensuring urban development is balanced with environmental protection to create harmony between people and their surroundings. Now, what are the key principles of the town planning? The principle is first is zoning, that is dividing the town into distinct zones for different use, such as residential, commercial, industrial, and recreational to ensure orderly development. Next one is the green belt. It is a non-development zone on the periphery of a town that restricts its size, prevents uncontrolled urban sprawl, and provides space for recreational activities and agriculture. Road systems, that is developing an efficient road and well-designed road system to manage the traffic flow, reduce congestion, and connect different areas of the town. Housing, carefully planning housing to suit the local population, provide adequate facilities, and prevent the growth of the informal settlements or slums. Public buildings, that is distributing public and semi-public buildings strategically throughout the town to ensure accessibility and avoid unnecessary concentration. Now, how this town planning is being processed? There are several steps. More to be precise, there are 5 steps. First is the preparation and exploration. What is that? It is identifying the needs and objectives for the area through surveys and data collection. This involves assessing current land use, population trends, and existing infrastructure. Second one is analysis and forecasting. That is analyzing the data collected to understand the area's trend and projecting future needs such as population growth, employment, and housing. Plan formulation, that is developing multiple or alternative concepts for areas growth and land use. This involves engaging stakeholders and the public to ensure the final vision reflects community needs. Fourth one is implementation, that is putting selected plans into action, which involves legal and administrative steps like land acquisition and enforcing zoning regulations. And the fifth one is the review and evaluation, that is monitoring the plan's progress and evaluating its success against the initial objectives. Now, the role of a town planner is, who is town planner? A town planner is a professional which coordinates with the development and management of urban and suburban areas, and they work with civil engineers, architects, developers, and public. The objective and the process of the town planner should follow is the conduct research and analysis data, formulate and present plans for land use and development, advise on the policy recommendation, ensure compliance with the regulations, and balance interests of various stakeholders and the community. So that is all. Thank you.